Hi, I'm the Soul Doctor. My name is Jola-Grace, and I'm so passionate about the health and the healing of the soul. And today I want to talk about common relationship mistakes. You know, relationships are so powerful. Relationships are so important. We rise and fall on the power of relationships. But sometimes because we are not relationally intelligent, we mess up good relationships in our lives. So very quickly, I want to tell you six common relationship mistakes. The first one is irrational expectations. Irrational expectations becomes unmet expectations, and unmet expectations will bring about feelings of bitterness, feelings of anger, feelings of resentment, because you're expecting somebody to do something in your life and that thing is not happening. Then you become bitter. For instance, you might think, okay, because you have a very rich uncle or a very rich aunt somewhere, then they should be sending you money, ever so often, and you do not know that that uncle or that aunt has a lot of expenses as well as they have a lot of income coming in. But look, in fact, nobody owes you anything, because sometimes we just have this entitlement mentality, thinking somebody must do this for us, they must do that for us because they are a friend, because they are a sister, because they are parents, because they are a relative. These things are irrational expectations. Anything anybody does, it is a privilege, and we should be grateful for it. The second mistake we make in relationship is poor communication. Like they say, communication is the blood of every relationship. Sometimes we just assume. You say, I assume you should know that now. I assume you should know I'm feeling. No, because they cannot read your mind. They can't read what is going on inside your heart. So regardless of who that person is that is in your life, it is important that you communicate. Tell them how you feel. Tell them what is going on. Somebody does something and, you don't feel right about it. Rather keep it quiet, and then having all these negative emotions on your inside, express yourself to them. Tell them how you feel, because when you begin to assume, you begin to get stories in your head, and oftentimes those stories that you tell yourself in your head because of what you think somebody thinks about you or somebody's doing to you are very wrong. Third mistakes we make in relationship is displayed vulnerability. Yes, vulnerability is good, because you can't just be strong to everybody. You should have some people that you can be vulnerable with. But guess what? Sometimes you become vulnerable to the wrong person, or you become vulnerable too quick, and they use your vulnerability against you. So it's important for you, before you become vulnerable to anybody, to check, is it okay for me to be vulnerable with this person? Am I at that level that I want to be vulnerable with this person? Because displaced vulnerability brings trouble in relationship. The fourth thing I want to talk about in relationship is lack of capacity assessment. Sometimes we don't assess if this person has the capacity to meet this need in my life. So, when the Bible was talking about God giving us gifts, it said he gave some 10, some 2, some 1, according to their capacity. And sometimes you are expecting someone that has a 2 to do something that someone that has a 10 will do for you. So it's important for you to check, what is the capacity of this person? Are they in a space to meet this particular need in my life? Because we get ourselves into trouble and we get into a problem in relationships because we don't assess the capacity of the other person correctly. Now, the fifth thing that I want to talk about is lack of boundaries. Sometimes, like they say, if you're living in a house that doesn't have windows and doors, is like, and anything can come in. That's the way your life will be when you don't have boundaries. Boundaries are so important. Boundaries says, no, I can't go any further, because boundaries will help you, right? You yourself to be in a place where your mental health is protected. Because when you don't have the capacity to say no, which is a lack of boundaries, then you get overworked. People keep taking from you. You keep giving to people, and you get to that place where you are burnt out. So having healthy boundaries is important in every kind of relationship. Number 6 mistake we make in relationship is personal imperfection. Look, you are not perfect. Nobody is perfect. But sometimes we forget that we are dealing with human beings, and human beings are not perfect. We expect the other person to be perfect, so we don't give them leeway for the mistakes, for the error they make. We just take everything so seriously. We become upset, we become angry, and we cause strain in the relationship because we're expecting the other person to be perfect. Look, nobody is perfect. You are not perfect. Begin to go through all of these things that I've talked about or shared about today. Number one, irrational expectation, poor communication, displaced vulnerability, a lack of capacity assessment, lack of boundaries and personal imperfection, and begin to check them in your relationship, because look, relationships are a beautiful thing. In fact, a relationship is a ship that takes you to your destiny. So if you want to get to that destiny, you need a good relationship in your life. I'm the Soul Doctor. My name is Jola-Grace, and I'm so passionate about the health and the healing of your soul.